Hi guys, I'm going to be reading on the relationship of JLO and Diddy at the time of 1999 when the incident at Club New York occurred. And from what I understand, Netanya, the woman that received the wounding, the to face, um, she received money like a settlement from Diddy. Um, and so did the other two that were wounded, from what I understand. They got some kind of money. Um, and even though he didn't, quote unquote, legally, he claims he didn't do it. And Shine went to prison for it, but she knows he did. I think that it's good that she got whatever money she did get from him because she's still paying with health problems uh, as a result of that injury as she ages. So let's just take a look at JLo. I want to see, like, did JLo know how much did she know? How much had she seen? And I just want to see if I can gauge a kind of a sense of it. You know, how long was it before she ducked out? I mean, she was with him for 2 years. Now, to be fair, I don't know if that was a total of 2 years or if it was just 2 years at the time by 1999 when the incident occurred in New York. But I want to kind of zone in on that time frame and their relationship and now and see if there's anything that's going to come up because that's the only thing that makes no sense. Because when I was trying to read on it earlier, I could see that looked like people had been paid, and I looked, and then I thought, oh my God, I didn't realize that there had been some kind of settlement payment. So I basically read for a long time on something that, was already known, and I just didn't know it. So uh, I figure I need to look at this, just change the scope a little bit. And I'll just allow whatever spirit thinks that we need to know or is relevant to bring that forward. So what I'm going to do is take a look at, from JLo's perspective, how did she feel about him asking her to carry that weapon into the club? Was this a surprise? I have a feeling it was, and that he would, the less likely that person can, refuse to do it. You put them kind of on the spot and people are kind of stunned and you have that moment to take advantage of. And that's what he does. He's a master manipulator. So let's just see. Did he surprise her with the request to carry it for him? Or was this something that they had uh, talked about? Was this something that they had talked about together? Or did he spring it on her to take advantage of the element of surprise? Okay, I'm getting the Five of Pentacles. And I'm getting the Page of Cups. I think this was a surprise. Now, the Page of Cups is literally a card about surprise, usually one of more pleasant nature. But in this case, no. It even literally, I just heard sleeps with the fishes. Um, I think that I don't think that she was expecting this. And with that Five of Pentacles, it looks like she knows that situation is gonna go bad. This is going south. But she's kind of curious about it too. So this, definitely gives me the feeling like, I don't know why you want this, exactly what's going on here, but maybe he knows better. I think she just kind of deferred, but I think absolutely was a surprise with the Page of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, which is a decline. I think she thought less of him for it. I think the moment he did that to her, I think he lost major points with her. I think her opinion of him was demoted, literally. I also don't think that she felt very good about being part of that. Sorry about any of the background noise. I'm near Highway 1, so lots of traffic. We have the Three of Wands and the Seven. This to me is about dealing with trying to keep harmony. I feel like in a social environment, but the Seven of Wands is it's a challenge. It's like trying to, I think she tried to steer him uh away from the idea of maybe, like that's our last resort, right? Type of thing. Maybe something like that. But it feels like this can also be the challenge that went on between him and the other guy after he spilt champagne, um, because he's, you know, having a argument with somebody over some trifling matter. Um, and it's a collision of egos. The Sun and the Four of Cups. Yeah, it really did put her off. That right there cut the line of feeling connected to him. Um, that was not this is exposure. And I think this would mean too that she let him know that this was not cool. Because they did go through a red light, they hopped into a Lincoln Navigator, and he drove off after he used the weapon, and they ran, she was in the vehicle with them. I wonder if that's when she with the Sun would have, and he was like, I don't want to hear it. He's not interested in your feelings, Jennifer. That's what I feel like. She sees that he doesn't really care. And it's very apparent to her then that he doesn't care about her, especially putting her in a place of vulnerability where she could take the fall for that potentially, or get in trouble. I think she realized very clearly this guy does not care about me or really anything. The Hierophant and the Hermit. Well, this is definitely her pulling back and, you know, ha having, I think, some basic sense of belief system. It might be a bit old-fashioned even, but I would say it's a sense of a certain moral. It had her looking at her own morality and whether or not she was too permissive or uh, too uptight. I think maybe he been telling her to like relax or something. Because I really do get the sense of like, well, is it something am I just uptight? Am I just too old fashioned? But it's not about that. She's having to get away from him so she can think on her own. The Emperor, there he is, and the Two of Cups and their relationship. He's very powerful. I think he tried to persist in a relationship after this event where she was just like, oh no, 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 no way. And Justice and the King of Pentacles, she was not interested in getting involved. You know, where the law talked to her, I believe, already. That shows up. And just the feeling when that card came out, I think she got more of an understanding of the seriousness of the situation than he did. I think he was kind of glib, used to getting away with things back in that time. And here we're shown the Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, the beginning of paying is securing, let's just say, fixing things to make sure that he was secure, that he was not likely to be losing his career and spending the rest of the time in prison. And this looks like paying for that or offering something of a material good um, that could be maybe considered, some might consider it a gift, cloth, or it a bit of a payoff. And that makes sense because I think we did hear that the footage from that club, I think he made sure he got hold of. Somebody was willing to uh, help him out with that. And I think maybe that's why he wasn't too concerned. He was still invincible. But with her, the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, too unstable for her. And she wants someone that, or was wanting someone that was definitely successful, but more stable, you know, with these Four Wands, and um, who can celebrate in a more, it just feels like less crazy fashion. And she looks at him as like, he's up and down. This is this is not stable enough. He's not stable enough. And so the Hanged Man and the Two of Swords, so she reaches a point where she's got to make a decision here. And she really didn't want to. I think she was maybe even a bit intimidated. The snake is coiled around this person. But for the sake of survival, you know, I feel like the Two of Swords, they have to make a decision that they don't want to make and cut, you know, connection, even if it displeases. Yeah, so then there's the Nine of Cups. Hmm. With the Six. This goes back to something in childhood for her. You know, this card normally would, to me, oh, the Six of Swords. She got out of that situation. I wonder if someone didn't help her out, um, that she had known in her past with that getting out of that relationship with him that was worried for her. She definitely had people helping her through that time because he got her into a bit of trouble. Yeah, the Five of Swords and the King of Cups, that's him because he's a water sign. So he definitely, she realized he was harmful that night. I think that night was her eye opener. And I think anything else was just building up to that point. I think he was thinking he was testing her loyalty. And it just looks to me like JLo that evening sealed the deal. That was not cool with her. My card slid because they're new and they're that nice linen. I think they're linen. Yeah, they are. And this is the Curious Travels deck, by the way, in case you're curious yourself. Very cool deck. I like the artwork. A little different twist on the Rider Waite. Okay, let's see here. Now that was on JLo. Let's take a look at Diddy. Why? Well, we know why he asked her to carry the weapon inside because he doesn't carry a handbag. But was it also, I feel like it was a test of her, what she'd be willing to do, what he could get away with. He was finding out, I feel like, where the boundaries in that relationship would be. And it proved to be that she wasn't cool with this at all and wasn't going to stick around. She was not like Kim. Kim deserves so much better. Okay, let's just see now from Diddy's point of view, his relationship with JLo. And the night of December 28th, 1999. Why did he ask her to do that? Couldn't he have found another person to take that risk? Did he just not care? And was this just some sort of a test of loyalty? We get the Hierophant and the High Priestess. There was definitely some hidden secrets going on here. Things that she didn't know about, and he knew that. I think he also knew that she was raised in a more traditional household and that she wouldn't, this was, taking her in blind, taking her in, though she might be able to sense that something's a little weird by him asking her to do that. She's not going to be able to completely suss it out. But to me, it's because she came from a more traditional background. I kept getting the Hierophant, and it's about beliefs, and it's about somebody that's, Diddy certainly was not raised in a traditional fashion. JLo comparatively was compared to him. Um, her mom wasn't doing what JLo's, I mean, what J, what Diddy's mom was doing. We get the Queen of Wands and we get the Moon. This is JLo. She doesn't know. She's being set up. This is something hidden, but it's also asking her to obscure the weapon, in my opinion, as well, by putting it in her bag and taking it in because they know he knew that she was not likely, due to her being a female and with him, and because they weren't going to be patting her down or anything like that, checking her. And I doubt that they checked him either. But I still feel like there was a special twisted reasoning in having her handle this weapon and secure it for him. So it shows she doesn't know. She's going to be set up. And here's the Page of Wands taking action and the Nine of Swords, and then being anxious and worried. And I think that's because he responded short too quickly. And now he's anxious as a result of things going down. Yeah. The Chariot and the Four of Wands. Well, but he feels that he's still going to remain successful, that this is not going to affect his success. He's determined, in fact, driven not to allow it to affect his success. The Devil, but the Nine of Swords. He was worried. He was anxious. And the Nine of Cups back here. That's not, I'm sorry, this is Cups in this deck, and this is the Swords. So either way, uh, both of these cards, just on Diddy, this is the energy that he pulls up and reveals itself. It is, it is just appalling, appalling energy. I think he also is a bit of a sadist in that he likes to see the response and the anxiety in other people to emotionally control them. He wants to dominate everyone in the room. He wants to be the big shot. Pardon the pun. I've got a kitty cat coming over here. Black cat of BlackCat Tarot. I think she's wanting treats. Oh, oh, maybe you'll see a tail. Come here, bear. Can you put up your tail so everyone can see in the reading? Here we go. Okay. Oh, that's interesting, bear. You're gonna lay on my leg. Hello, monkey. Hello, little funny kitty. Okay. Let's take a look. It helps me to deal with this negative energy, looking at this guy's energy. It's so bad, you guys. Let me just see something. Like, is he gonna, I get when I looked last night very quickly before I went to bed if he was, how things were gonna go for him in jail, prison. And I did get there are people, there are both individuals and a small group of people that would like to get their hands on him. So I just want to take a look, given the history of people, what can happen to them sometimes, even though, like, guards fall asleep, I don't know. Let's just see. How do things look prison-wise for Diddy? How is he enjoying prison? Because he didn't get that third request, just like I said, when he put out, I think, the second one. It's like he's not going to get this changed. He's got to understand, and that's really hard for him to accept, that this isn't just a moment and he's going to be sprung and be able to pay his way, and that's it. He's in there. And he is not walking out a free man for a very long time, if ever. It's my gut feeling just because of the nature of the charges. But, you never know these days. Let's just see. Is Diddy going to be, what's prison life going to be like for him? What do we get? All right. I'm getting the Two of Cups and the Lovers. Well, maybe he'll get a boyfriend. I'm not trying to be facetious, but that's weird. This is a relationship. I think he's going to have a relationship in there. Why not, right? That for him, that sounds about on par. She's excited by the birds outside, so if you hear any little chirps from the cat and not the birds, That's bear. You see birdies, huh? Okay, we have the Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. I'm getting that small group of people with a common goal. And the Nine of Wands, that means to me, yeah, I think he does have a small group of people that are looking to make life difficult, make life rough. You can feel the energy with the group and that Nine of Wands. It's kind of a card that carries a competitive edge to it. In fact, there might be people that are, oh, hang on a minute. I got to give the kitty a treat. Thank goodness for temptation. These kind of temptations. Anyway, back to the other kind that are not so great. Um, yeah, I think he's going to have a significant person there. And I do think he's going to have a group of people that would like to get their hands on him. Number of people that would like to, trying to do it. And I feel like his mom keeps trying to make statements. And I feel like there could be donation or something that she's trying to do to look charitable, to damage control. I feel like it's her, just like she did with holding the kids' hands when they came out. You know, she never done that before. You know, you've never seen that on TV with that family before. But whatever. And there's the Emperor and the Ace of Wands. New ideas. Yeah, I do. I feel like authorities given her ideas, maybe some of his lawyers, and also Diddy. I think some of this is also Diddy because he cannot resist trying to control someone, just like he wanted to control the lighting and all of that for the freak offs. This is definitely feeling like telling her what to do, like say this, do that. I've come up with an idea. It would be, and I got this earlier. I bet that he's coaching her to do some of this. Mom, it'd be really good if you did this. Um, but the Tower is coming, and the Queen of Pentacles is going to bring it. Now, this is something that, oof, for him is going to be one heck of a blow. And not, oh gosh. All right, best not to use that word. Um, this is going to be uh, unexpected and disruptive to him. And it comes through a woman. I This could be someone that's making a charge. There's a plenty of people that are doing so. This is the Five of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. This is someone definitely that is a victim, and I feel like carries a physical disability in all likelihood due to some lingering, I feel like, damage that they had been affected, I feel like, mentally and physically in a decline. Uh, this woman's life has never gone the flow that it should have gone. She's stuck. And I don't think that this is the one woman that Thalia. Don't believe that's her at all. This is somebody I feel like a very different energy. This is someone who's legitimately, like I said, they have held back. They have legitimate deficit from their dealings with him, or rather their contact with him. They have the Five of Cups. And this is depression and regret. And I feel like they're reliving the unpleasant circumstance over and over again. And they're not looking away from it. So it makes me feel like they're not seeing the other two cups behind them, but they're looking and focused on the three that have spilled. I think creating trauma in people that doesn't just go away. This is a more serious case. Yeah. And I think this person gets to a crossroads where they come forward. They haven't come forward yet. Yes, and the Six of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. This is somebody that is going to have success, should come forward, will be publicly recognized as somebody that really went through hell and has managed to survive and try to move forward, trying to progress forward now, people recognizing that. And I feel like someone getting a very significant uh, a legal financial reward here. There's recognition and being awarded the Ten of Pentacles. It's quite a serious amount of money. And it's a female, but she has not yet come out, or her name has not come forward. I think that she's not gone to one of the people yet, but she's going to have a really something very significant, evidential, wise with herself and her situation physically. The Seven of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. To me, this is Diddy. He's going to be having to refinance and look over his financial business acumen and rearrange it. There's change happening, and he's going to have to look at earning, how he's getting what's coming in, income money, literally like incoming money. And let me tell you, he's going to be, I feel like, on a very narrow net. The Ace of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. We have emotional instability. I think this is going to start to definitely get to where he's going to act out, because this man is used to getting his way. The hope being extinguished by that third appeal for bail is stinging, and it doesn't sink in completely straight away. And I just believe that he's going to be up and down. I think also his biochemistry, from being someone that used substance a lot and heavily through the years, I think he's altered, perhaps permanently, some of his function, and it's off. You can damage your brain chemistry. It makes new pathways. Oh, hold on a minute. I got to put that on silence. Of Three of Cups and the Page of Swords. I feel like while he is behind bars, because we're looking at his life while he's behind bars, and it looks like he's going to be looking for some celebration stuff, if you know what I mean. Three of Cups, on the lookout. That's what makes me And maybe because it comes after, especially the instability and then wanting to medicate, looking for means, outlets, that's going to be really hard pressed because being so high profile, they're going to have eyes on him. He'll be really lucky, I would think, to be able to even get in a position to ask someone else. But there's the devil and yeah, he's not going to have the access there. He's going to feel very restricted from his usual debauched lifestyle. That about sums it up, and without using a lot of really um, certain words that YouTube would not be happy to see. But we know what they are. His so-called things that he uses at parties, various substances and whatnot. He's just not going to have access, and he's not going to have access to exert control over people and dominate other people anymore. So he's going to feel really frustrated, and that's what I'm getting. I think he's going to have a moment. He's going to be probably having several moments, um, because you cannot go from 0 to 60 like that, 0 to 1,000, the way that guy was living. Look at this. I think he has heart problems, you guys. And it wouldn't surprise me at all, especially when you abuse stimulants. But that's not all that he's abused. However, people that are known to take large consumption of stimulants end up usually having heart arrhythmias and mental health issues, paranoia. But I'm really feel like I'm getting something with his heart. And when you're messed up on something or when you're under the influence of something, you may not notice it. You may not feel it. I think he's going to start, yeah, the Six of Swords. And I think actually it's going to be better for him, better for his heart, health-wise, to be in prison, away from all those bad habits that he wants to indulge in. And I don't think he's going to be successful, at least for the moment, in finding anyone that's able to, uh, let's trade, make a deal, or whatever. You know what I mean? Okay, so I do have like a heart health issue that physically, I think he's going to start to actually make me feel better because he's not doesn't have access to the bad habits. We get the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Now, here we do have a feminine energy, but we're looking at issues of abandonment. And I feel like perhaps the traffic jam that he causes, so to speak. Yeah, this feels very legal to me. So this is this Queen of Swords. I feel like he does have this date in May for his trial, and the King of Wands. Someone's going to expose. A man is going to expose things. I feel like these are people that have worked with him in these capacities, and I feel like that Queen of Swords is going to be looking at people that have been moved around, if you get what I mean. And there's a man that brings clarification. And I think the King of Wands is someone that is going to be convinced to work with authorities rather than not. Yeah, Temperance and the Magician. It just shows that he's a master manipulator, and it's not going to be good for him. It's going to show that he's lived in excess to the point now that living in prison is the only form of temperance, uh, balancing that excess out in his life. It's the only way it would have happened. The wheel of fortune. Yeah, and it changes. There is change for him, especially where finance is concerned and his security. And maybe even, especially because his personal security detail people have been named. Now, that was in Thalia's claim. I don't know if they've been in if any other claims have been made, but I do feel like anybody that has participated with Diddy in this kind of stuff, I tend to think it starts coming out. Those names start moving, literally, with the Wheel of Fortune. And the King of Pentacles looks like somebody that would be one of the first people that is going to be exposed for this excess. Part of this excess, yes. And traveling around. Oh my God, I get the card of the Travelers and the Ace of Swords. I feel like there's like text messaging, there's phones, and there's being able to link people up to certain places. Mm. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be holding on for dear life to what little he has left and to trying to stabilize himself. But he's also going to be more focused on control more now than ever, especially now that there's nothing to blunt his emotions. It's just straight up trying to take control. And the attention, he doesn't like that the attention is on his darkness and that is being showcased. It's like, well, that's the part of you that you really put a lot of time and effort into. I feel that the star and the moon is also probably to do with things like tapes, things that are of a dark nature that people might seek out to watch, that might have a popularity, or you know what I'm saying. He gets Hermit in the Judgment. He's going to be there. And I feel like into old age. He's not exactly young now, but he's not exactly old either. And that's still plenty of time for him to spend the next 20, 30 years of his life is going to be behind bars. And he gets Judgment, the card of being held to account, having to atone. Um, so he's not going to get out. He's not going to win this case. The Knight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, no. And time will move very slowly for him. Very slowly. And with the Five of Swords, there's a ruthlessness that's still present. It's showing up. He's still going to try, though. I think no matter what, he's still going to try. And he's willing to be utterly ruthless. Like before, when he was trying to vilify Cassie, he'll stoop to new lows. Yeah, but he's just not going anywhere. Knight of Wands and the Ten of Swords. No. And it will be a when he's old and he passes, I feel like that will be a release. That's the only way he's coming out. And I feel like there's a guy there, that Knight of Wands. had come up earlier when I was looking at that showed as somebody that might target him. And I'm wondering if that one is coming back around to that person. Let me just see what I get that way. Um, is Diddy going to live many years behind bars? Will he survive many years behind bars? Will Diddy survive many years behind bars? I think he should. That's where he should be. I get the Queen of Pentacles. This makes me feel like, yeah, he's it grounded. It's I don't feel like there's movement. I feel like plunk. Yeah, he's in the institution and the chariot. But again, I do think he's going to continue to try to appeal it, but he's not going to like it. He's going to notice that he's aging faster. He's going to notice that he feels bad because he's also sober. Yeah, Eight of Cups. And he wants to leave. He wants to get the Sam, you know what, out of there. Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Wands. But there's changes that are coming, and it's changes that are happening to him. And it is to do with looking at morality and relationships, belief systems, how you treat other people, your friends, how you treat people you're supposed to love. And the Page of Pentacles, he's just looked at people as a resource. And I feel that there's a disconnect from any kind of personal real remorse or sorrow. He's a true narcissist. The World and the King of Cups. He's going to end his days in prison. That's the last card in the deck. And not just in the reading, but literally in the tarot. That means to me, he will survive, I think, for a good number of years anyway, in prison before anything would happen to him. I'd rather think he might be likely to live into an older age there. But I do think he could suffer attacks. I definitely do. And I definitely feel like people are planning and looking for an opportunity. I definitely see that. And these are different people. Some are just individuals, and other people are, like I saw, little groups that are in cahoots that he doesn't, these are people he doesn't even know about. Yeah. With death, I get the Two of Pentacles. So I think it's saying it could go either way. I think at this point right now, things could still go either way. But let me just get clarification on that. The Eight of Pentacles, that's usually a skill, someone that's very skilled. Ooh, and the King of Wands. I'm feeling fixer energy. You know, somebody that takes care of problems and makes them go away. Yeah. I think they haven't decided fully when or if. That's being juggled. But death is near. That's creepy. That's really creepy because that's not Diddy's energy. This is somebody that has eyes on him. That King of Wands keeps coming back up. The Six of Swords and the Queen of Swords. There's clarity about movements. Ooh, I'm thinking this person's going to become familiar with schedules. I'm really not liking how this is kind of looking. And the Sun, exposure, and the Seven of Pentacles. To me, this is again where time is spent, where efforts are put. Again, is this someone learning what his kind of his itinerary is for the day or his schedule? I get the Ace of Wands and the Nine of Wands. This is the beginning of an act of, to me, some kind of physical action against him. And we get the Six, look at that, of Pentacles, which is about asking or requesting help or being given help. And the Moon. Well, that would mean help for some reason is not clear, is hidden, is something shady about getting help or receiving help. It looks like at some point, it looks like it's saying it could go either way because the will of these folks is pretty strong. Oh my gosh, the Page of Cups and the Devil. Yeah, he might be surprised that there are some people that are more depraved than he is. Yeah, that energy's bad, y'all. Ugh. And the Tower, he's not expecting it. And the Knight of Swords, they act quickly. I think he will be subject to assault. Let me just see. I want to see if the Temperance, this is trying to bring something to balance. The Hangman, this could be if this is about balance. Both of these cards, that there's a suspension or delay. Is this a delay in help? I think this is a delay in help. The Magician and the Ace of Cups. I I feel like this is an outpouring of emotion or feeling. Is it something to do with drinks? Are they gonna serve him a special something? A special cup of tea? I don't know. But there's something manipulated with it. And the cups are part of the tools on the magician's table. So somebody's up to no good. And look, here's the cup being offered. Do you see that? With the Four of Cups. And this person doesn't know doesn't think anything of it. They're not even really paying attention. And the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like a step is achieved. And someone feels like they're gaining some kind of security by doing this. Yeah, there's the Three of Swords. They're trying to keep scandal, I think, quiet. Four, see, of Pentacles keeping control of what would cause harm or just sully one's name, put one in crisis, probably get them divorced. You know, I feel like we've got people behind the scenes, folks, and more than one. Like, who's going to get to him first? I'm not lying here. I'm seeing more than one person. Queen of Wands, and the Page of Swords. I feel like that's his mom again. I feel like she's going to try and be more visible for him and do things to try. But I just feel like with the Page, it's kind of not very helpful, really. It's kind of lightweight. It doesn't carry the weight of a knight or a queen or, it's not very effectual. It's just kind of flimsy feeling. The Ten of Cups and the Lovers. I feel like this is looking into the parties, the deals, and with her nearby, maybe her involvement in any of that kind of behavior. And this is the Lovers. Is someone going to speak out? I feel like it about maybe that's seen her, knows about things that she's done. She best be careful because there's people that have seen her in compromising situations and they could really do some harm if they wanted to. I mean, like make her embarrassed. Um, Four of Wands and the Empress. She's going to try to maintain the motherly, uh, personification and the home and domestic grandma. I really feel like that's going to be laid on. That's his mom coming in, trying to do that. But the Hermit and the Star, he's still going to be, it's not going to get him out of there. He's still going to be alone, really going to feel alone in there and not feel like he's got anybody in there to take care of things for him. And also, I think beginning to feel maybe a bit uneasy with being in the spotlight and feeling alone, if you get what I mean, feeling vulnerable, maybe realizing more how vulnerable he is. The Knight of Cups and the Six of Wands. Somebody makes an approach and they feel like they will have achieved like counting two. I feel like someone is going to come up to him and feel like they were able to do something here. This is the past and the Ace of Swords. There's some sense of in their past, maybe their childhood, maybe somebody did something like that to them or someone they loved. I don't know. But to them, it almost feels like they're doing this for what's happened in the past or what he did, what he's been known to do. Seven of Swords and the Five of Cups. This guy, he thinks he's going to outfox people. He's not. He's going to find himself very depressed and with little to no means of doing what he normally did to relieve stress. So he's going to feel very, I think, vulnerable, which he's not going to like, and uptight because he's not able to so easily get access. I've yet to see him get access to some kind of substance. I think that they're going to keep too close of a watch on him. And I think it could bring him some pleasure to make sure that he can't. I really do. He's annoyed enough people with his shenanigans. It's disgusting. Two of Swords and Strength. Yeah. Not moving, being controlled. He's going to be in there and he's going to be vulnerable. And it looks like chances are kind of 50-50 from what I can see, of him going in there. Now, let me just take a look at JLo. Is there anything more that JLo will be bothered about? Will they be asking her any more questions? I mean, really legally at this point, despite the fact that we can say, well, she was an accomplice and all that, they should have proven that. Unfortunately, I think that opportunity's done. And so is her career. Let me just take a look. With JLo, is there anything legal that will come back up that she's got to answer questions for regarding Diddy? I get the Sun. Well, that's a yes. And it's something depressing. The Five of Cups. There's remorse or regret. So it's probably over that club event. And I think she legitimately has remorse and regret. I don't think that she's anyone as cold-hearted like him. I get the King of Wands and strength. The coercive control is what comes to mind. So I think she's going to be talking about how he's able to get women, especially with the strength card, and how he picks women, especially to do stuff like that, because he knows that he can use them. And he just uses people. So I think that she'll be talking to some people about it. Yeah, I think so. They might ask her to go over some things with the hangman and the star. I don't think she wants to do it though, because she's afraid of any kind of sacrificing her so-called career. There he is again with the King of Cups and Three of Pentacles, but she was working with him at the time because she thought he was able to advance her career. And I think that she's going to probably pretty much say that he was helping her career at the time. And he was until he wasn't. Chariot and the Page of Pentacles. I just feel I don't feel like it's of anything of I think it's more about how he is as a person and maybe getting to understand him a little bit more that way. But I really don't think I'm not seeing like, oh, she's going to be dragged in and so on and so forth. But it's the end of that past. To her, it's a severing of the past. And she's done with it. It's to wash her hands of him. So I think that she might go in and answer some questions, but she does, even her, she doesn't need any more of a flat tire. And he's a pariah. That's what I see him become. He's already that way. It's just not become more formal. All right, that is one heck of a hour-long deep dive into that. We'll just have to wait and see and come back to this and see if these things have manifested. That's how it pretty much works. But yeah, I think there's a good possibility that once his trial is over and he's been in prison a while, somebody could target him. And I do feel like there's a number of somebodies that want to put hands on him, and there's a good chance that that could happen. In fact, I think it's more of when, not if. All right. Just going to leave that out there. If you appreciate readings like this, please give me a thumbs up. guess who's next? Justin Bieber. And I'm going to take a good look at him and give him a deep dive. And I'm hopeful to see that he will be healing his life. All right. I will see you in the next reading or live. Don't forget, this week, it's Saturday. It's going to be tomorrow. Bye.